What's up, everybody? Welcome to the TENDO Show. I, of course, am TENDO, and then this is the Dan, the Elisa, and the Hannah Bob SquarePants. Now, listen, we're going to get into some shenanigans here in a little bit. We're going to do some quizzes, play some games, fun stuff. But before we do any of that, I want to get you guys to do a couple things for me, please. Dan and Elisa have their own YouTube channel. They do some game hunting. They do some really cool video game stuff over on their channel. And so the link for their channel is pinned into the comments or the chat box here for this live stream. Or if you're watching it later, it'd be easier to access it in the comments, or the description below this video. But also there's a second link there where you guys can subscribe to another channel. And you're going to want to subscribe to that because eventually it's going to actually happen pretty soon. We're going to do these live shows on a separate channel so we can clean up our main page a little bit and not have this stuff on there. So if you're at all enjoying these live shows that we do every week, make sure you subscribe to that other channel so that you can check us out on that other channel. Also, we're going to do every couple weeks do a pre-recorded podcast kind of thing over there, and it's just we want to put more stuff on that channel, so we can't just keep putting it here on the main page. But welcome, Dan. Welcome, Elisa. Glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you guys because I've always wanted to do this live show with guests. Who else is going to look at my short suit, high kick? Hannah, who's here?
We have Derek Levy, we have Harry Potter Freak, we got Jack Green, we got Corey Murphy. They're all talking so fast I can't keep up. Okay, Christine Douglas, Taylor G, Mickey Leonard, and took off my glasses.
I can't see nothing.
Really hard. We've got Bubblehead Rob, Disney Art Craft Fan. What's up, you guys? How's it going? Clean out crew?
Welcome. Seen a lot of familiar names, a few new ones. I'm glad all of you are here. What's everybody been doing this week? Anybody? So you guys comment below. Let us know what kind of thrifting or otherwise reselling nonsense kind of things you guys have been into. Dan and Elisa, you guys give us a quick review of your last week or so and how it has or may be turning into videos on your own channel. We'd love to hear about it.
We posted one of our favorite videos today.
Okay.
And it was an epic pickup. And we don't want to spoil it because I'd rather you go watch it. But we picked up a lot of video games and returned some video games. And we're trying to get a free expensive video game. So
so you explained this to me over lunch, but let me see if I understand.
Yep.
You guys have started a series on your channel where you are flipping games. You're reselling them specifically to buy a very, and when I say very, I mean very expensive game, right?
yeah.
And you're going to make a whole series doing that.
And incidentally, what happens is we end up keeping a lot of it too.
Right,
So
of course.
it's fun for everybody.
Right, very
Yeah.
nice. Okay, well, if you guys want to see some game reselling and collecting videos, go check out their channel, like I said, over in the chat box. It's over there. But let me see what the people are talking about. I do know right before we went live, we were a few minutes late. I'm sorry, but somebody commented, the Furby Uprising has finally happened.
100%.
That guy wins comment of the week. That's funny. Let's see. Been picking up a lot of board games lately. Really, what kind? Follow-up comment, what kind of board games are you picking up? I've definitely picked up way more board games in the last few months than I ever thought I would, but I keep finding really cool 90s nostalgia cartoons like Gargoyle board game. I've got to buy that,
stuff.
Obviously. What else we got? Thrifting, of course, with my awesome Pokemon Heart Gold in a bag. Oh, I saw that on the Discord. Did you see that on the Discord?
Oh, sweet.
This person on the Discord, which you guys can go join. That link is also in the video's description. Posted, they found a bag wall toy for Pokemon Heart Gold, which I have the box. Do you remember the price charting value on this? The box is extremely high.
Yeah.
The game's extremely high. And then the whole kit and caboodle is astronomical. It's absurd. But that person gets find of the year, I think, because to find that in the bag wall is nuts. That's awesome, though. I've been playing Dreamcast. Nice. I have a Dreamcast, but I have like 4 games for it. I need to find something. The best game I have for it is South Park Racing.
That's a good game.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
It's a pretty pricey game, too. When I finally looked it up, I paid like $1 for it at a bookstore once.
Nice.
What else we got going on, Hannah?
We have Heart of Gold finally just epic. Someone found Heart of Gold. Or is that what you guys?
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. Hannah's over there Googling cat pictures. She has no idea what's going on. Found Squishmallows, somebody said.
Oh, yeah, Five Below.
That's awesome. Well, we had some treats from Five Below today. You guys listen. Do you guys have Five Below where you're at? Everyone watching? Are they like McDonald's now and everywhere, or some of you guys still? Does your life suck and you don't have one?
Your life sucks. The city's not cool unless it has a Five Below. Is that what you're saying?
It's a very awesome store. Is all I'm saying.
It's pretty alright.
Trying to find your top hat. Do you have one, Joe? I don't even know where we got this. The bins?
Yes. I remember the day that I found it. I went, a top hat. You're like, oh my god, we're getting that. It's like, oh, we are. And you're like, yes, I need it. And I go, put it on, see if it fits. And then it fit.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, when we found the top hat, I knew deep in my heart that one day I was going to need it for something, and I didn't know what. Here we are 3 years later. I've got the top hat on, and it worked out.
The other thing is that we had that top hat and shoved it in a closet. And for 3 years, it sat in that closet. No idea that we had it, and then we started doing these live shows, and I happened to clean out that closet that day. I'm like, oh look, there's a top hat in here. You should wear this. And you're like, oh my god.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of people saying they have Five Below. Do you see anybody that said they don't? In Canada, we have 1,000 Below. That checks out.
Wow.
God, where did we go to a Five Below the first time? If you're watching and you don't know what Five Below is, because I bet there's some people in other countries that have no idea what it is. It's slightly better than the dollar store. They've got stuff in the store is supposed to be Five Below. They'll have a few $10 items or whatever, and stuff like that. But they have really cool T-shirts, candy, and toys. It's almost like Big Lots used to get the discounted stuff left over from Walmart in bulk. They get that kind of thing. So I like buying Minecraft toys there for $5. That's funny. Happy Memorial Day Eve. Absolutely.
Jeez, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, that means you guys get work off tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes.
Yay!
We're not going to move more than 200 steps. That's the goal.
Really? So
Yeah.
you're pretty much
Video
just-
game, fridge, and
That's a
bathroom. That's about it.
proper
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. Is everybody watching gonna get tomorrow off? We're gonna. Well, you know what? I didn't think about that. We were gonna go do half off Savers tomorrow. It being Memorial Day,
Madness.
we might get wrecked.
Yeah. Just go early.
I did get an email that Goodwill is having a 25% off Memorial Day sale, which it isn't 50%, but it is a sale, and it's only emailed, so I bet a lot of people won't know about it, so maybe it'll be less.
Right.
We'll see. It's a possibility.
Interesting. Well, I did not at all think about that for tomorrow for half off day. We're still gonna go, but we might not go as hard as I thought we were, because I bet people are gonna be out going nuts thrifting.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because what do a lot of you guys watching do with your days off like Memorial Day? I bet a lot of you go thrifting. I'm here and I have delicious handmade pizza. Well, I'm jealous. I'm getting hungry.
We need to make handmade pizza in my new pizza stone.
Yeah, you got
we
one,
can
didn't
do
you?
pizza night at our place.
We should.
Yeah.
Bring my pizza stone.
We're doing it.
That's awesome.
That'd be so fun. Someone said that Tucson doesn't have a Five Below. They don't, do they?
No,
They
I
got
don't
3
think so.
Bookmans, so,
I
you know.
mean-
If
That
that
does
was
make
all
up
out.
for it. Well, James says that my first time getting to watch on Sunday night being as your off tomorrow. Well, that's awesome, James. I appreciate you stopping by. Are you going to stay up late tonight, watch the TENDO show, play some video games? If you guys don't know, James is the one that made me my custom
The
TENDO.
NES cart, right?
Yeah, NES cart with
that's
it's instead of being Donkey Kong, it's my big ass. It's awesome.
sweet. Oh,
Nintendo
it's
trash.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
No Five Belows in Albuquerque. I bet you get them soon. Because I said the same thing when we moved here. I was like, no Five Below, come on. This city's
Yeah.
huge. And then all of a sudden there was one in our mall, and then next week there were 20 of them.
They kind of started popping up quite a bit over the last 2-3 years, I would say.
Super Fast Tortoise, your wife is making you play board games on your day off tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we should have done. We should have done a live show and all played a board game together. Would you guys watch if we played an 8-hour game of Monopoly?
We have a closet full of board games we could play.
Yeah.
I
do
feel
it.
like Monopoly would not be the best choice.
No. Or Risk. Let's just never do Risk.
No.
That's like 3 days worth.
Like
of
to
Right.
stay friends.
Yeah.
Is that a Evangelion t-shirt? What t-shirts do you guys have on?
Oh, we have
Show 'em
baby metal shirts.
Baby metal.
I don't know what this is. Explain it to us.
So it's a Japanese metal band, and
I
they're
tried to zoom in, but it cuts off.
they're
Elisa,
dressed
sorry.
in super kawaii outfits.
Okay. Are
We
they?
saw him live.
That's dope. You guys, listen. You guys missed a great live show last week because we didn't go live last week planning on doing anything specific, but it very quickly devolved in talking about music from our teenage years. Dan and I have a lot of similar tastes in music from kind of that same era, so it would have been a good time for you to be here because you would have known what we're talking about. I showed off my signed yellow card
Oh,
poster
it's so
stuff.
cool. Yeah,
But
that's so cool.
you guys have a very broad, a very expanded taste in music. You guys will be playing stuff when we're in the car with you where I'm like, what is this? What is
Well, that's
this
on
madness?
purpose. We pull the weird stuff out. when
Just
we're around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. You gotta it's hard to out weird me. I understand.
We try.
Five Below is like Walgreens. It's a fair comparison, I guess. It's a little less grocery medicine, maybe.
Yeah, more candy.
Baby metal. Well, this
For candy.
this always surprises me too. Like last week, I don't know that I
People
expected.
know the baby metal.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't know. Like last week when I talked all about Fall Out Boy and Yellow Card and all these things I listened to, I didn't really expect because like you ended up liking Go Radio,
yeah.
quite a bit, which is
Yeah.
another band I like.
Yep.
And we bonded over that.
Yep.
But I didn't expect so many people to know what I was talking about. I don't know why. Or maybe I didn't expect people to have the same interest. But like, there's of course gonna be a lot of people here that know baby metal. It's pretty dope. That's pretty. I think Scrabble was a punishment. Really, Scrabble. I mean,
like Scrabble.
You know what? I like playing it on the computer.
Okay.
I am terrible at spelling. I know lots of words and I know roughly how they're spelled, but when I've got to get it absolutely right every time with the board game, I mess up.
Ah, yeah.
So like words with friends, on the phone, can't be beat, because I can mess up until I get it right, because the phone will let you until you get it right. That's funny.
That's what you do.
What do you mean? What?
I never beat you in Words with Friends, and I never plan to. Like, it's
Right.
never gonna work out for me.
Well, I just sit there and rearrange the letters until I get it right. I can't spell good. It's been a lifelong problem. Let's see. Are you two fans of? Can you see what that says, Dan? Gact.
Gawked. Yeah, we listened to some Gawked.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
Is that another similar
It's
thing?
a Japanese rock band.
Treat me like an idiot. I have no idea what this stuff
So
is.
Japanese rock. What's one of their famous anime songs? They have a few.
Have they done a bunch of intro songs for
Yeah, they've
animes?
done a few.
Oh, that's an interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting line of business to fall into.
Oh man, there's so much good Japanese rock music.
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas,
That's one
a
of our
Japanese group, is one of our favorites. 'Cause
Well, that's funny because I don't particularly. My tastes aren't that which I listen to much Japanese music at all. But I mean, how often do you ever hear? Like for me personally, do you ever hear like just an anime intro song come on and it not just be a banger? Like
Yeah.
it's always like
Always
intro
true.
music for anime is fire.
Yeah, that's how we got into Fear and Loathing.
That's how we discovered Fear and Loathing.
They do the intro to Parasite,
Yeah.
and then like
Hunter X
Hunter
Hunter.
x Hunter. Yep,
Yep.
good band.
That's funny. All right, well, we can do some questions with these guys in a little bit, but I tell you what, you guys are gonna get a little bit annoyed with me. I'm gonna say this a few times because a lot of people are dropping in as we go. You guys make sure that you subscribe to these guys' channel. There's a couple links pinned at the top of the chat box, so go over there. Click that. I'm going to say this like 10 times tonight so all the new people coming in can subscribe and we make sure we get something good. But what do you guys want to do? You guys want to do some trivia? You want to do some Q&A? It's really a free night. We got an hour and a half to fill. What are we going to do? You want to talk about something you've seen recently? You want to talk about... You guys want a popsicle? I got popsicles at the grocery store today.
I like Obi-Wan mentioned Goldfinger when we brought up Goldfinger in our one of our videos. It turns out like a ton of people are in that same genre of music.
Yeah.
I really appreciate.
I'm
We love
not
Goldfinger.
familiar with who that is. I bet I'd probably know the music if I heard it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You would recognize it, 100%.
I'm just terrible with names when it comes to that kind of thing.
Someone keeps saying that there is going to be a fourth Bookman's in Tucson. I
Wow.
tried Googling it, but I'm not seeing
Does
any
this-
information to fact
What's
check
the person's name?
that. Chuck's Games?
Chuck, do you have inside information? Tell us.
What are the cross streets?
What are the
Yes.
What's
We
the
will-
opening date? We will be there at
We'll
open.
be there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Road trip coming.
Yeah, no, that's a whole video.
Yes.
That
We're-
would be awesome.
I don't know if you know this, but you got 4 Bookman's aficionados here. Aficionados. I left out a
We've
syllable.
all been to every single Bookman's now.
Yeah.
Many times.
So if there's a new one,
We've
have
been to all of
go.
them together.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
We went to the last one we hadn't been to together
Yep.
on an episode 2 or 3 weeks ago. If you're watching and you don't have any idea what we're talking about, our local awesome, super awesome buy-sell trade store is called Bookman's, and half of our videos are. Matter of fact, we shot a video today there, and you guys did make a video out of it, correct?
No, I don't think so.
So you'll
I
see.
don't
We got a little bit. at Bookman's.
You can see a video on our channel tomorrow morning of us shopping there. But let's see what else.
I made a few clips.
I hope. I'm telling you, I hope there's another one, a fourth one in Tucson.
They
we,
can. So
we need a third one here.
So we were lucky enough to get into the basement of their biggest one,
Yeah.
and they have a lot of stock. A lot of
Just
stock.
piled up,
They could
waiting to
open
get
another
priced.
shop,
Yeah.
100%.
Well, that must have been
Doing
why.
well.
They were probably saving it for another store.
And they probably just can't get through it. There's so much.
Yeah.
So much.
Wouldn't that be so fun to just go through all that? Like, even if it's just my job to go price it all. Like, I just like to go through it all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't need any of it. I'm just gonna.
Like, wow, you
just
have
gonna
this?
Sort it.
This manual
Play
from
with
this
it.
game, and yeah, oh, it's so good.
That's awesome.
You can find some of the coolest stuff. I bet working at one of those shops, people bring in some crazy things. You'd be like one of the Zia Records here in town had a double pack of Woody and Buzz in box, sitting like behind their like trade counter as one of their like high dollar items. Just the most beautiful toys ever. It's just they're
Like-
not things that I had seen before.
Like they're from Andy's collection.
Yeah, like they're just. I think they were specialty like colors or something
Huh.
like that. But just, I think it would be so cool to have people bring in things like that. Like, oh, I forgot about that from my childhood, or like I
Yeah.
didn't know this existed. Like that's so cool. I would never be able to see something like that.
Yeah, the employees get dibs. They have a
Oh, they have all
special
the good stuff.
area with their name on it, and they get to place dibs on
That's
some of the
cool.
trade.
Well, I know,
Well-
like with Goodwill, a lot of people will joke and be like, "Well, I wish I could work at a Goodwill so that I can get all the good stuff first."
But they're not allowed to
They're
buy it,
not
right?
allowed to shop at their own stores.
One day a month, I guess, they're allowed to go in and shop.
Well, this
Yeah.
is a regional thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here in Arizona, yeah, one week out of the year there's an employee appreciation, and then everyone also gets to go on their birthday week. Hannah, I want you to look up some information. I want you to read us an article maybe or something about it. Rose just mentioned a Harry Potter store opening up in New York, and I need to know more.
Oh, really?
Also, Mandy, what did you say? She said she wishes there was a Bookman's where she is. I'm quite curious. This is something else the rest of you guys could maybe let us know about. I'm very, very curious how many of you have a buy-sell trade store. Because where I'm from in the Midwest, it's a very popular thing. There's a chain in my home state of Kentucky of like 12 stores. You can go to just about anywhere in Kentucky. There's one in driving distance where you can go and do the same kind of buy-sell trade stuff for video games like we do here. So I'm curious if you guys watching have that, because I know every time we bring up Bookman's, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I wish we had a Bookman's," but of course, Bookman's is an Arizona thing.
Yeah.
However, other states that I've lived in have just had, there have been other ones. What are you seeing, Hannah?
Well, I made a mistake and accidentally clicked on the main website for the Harry Potter thing, and it's starting to load some crazy graphic video, I'm sure, and so I need to click out and look for
Okay,
more.
we'll just find information on
But
it.
it is real.
That's pretty cool. We'll just hit news. Read up on some information about it.
The news.
That's funny. All right, well, that's pretty cool. Grand opening on June 3rd. The Potter Collector just did a video on it. I mean, obviously Harry Potter is something that can carry its own weight to have its own store. I mean, they got their own theme park attractions.
Yeah.
A store is a natural progression. But I'd like to see that. Especially if it's like, have you guys been to the Harry Potter world?
No.
It does very well to feel pretty immersive and like you're in, in the wizarding world.
I'd love to go.
Yeah.
I'm in British Columbia. We don't have anything like this that I know of either. Just that's a bummer. I mean, I felt like it was a Midwest thing because I know when I first traveled away from home, like you don't see a lot of it in California either that I know of. I'm sure there's some, but where I was, I didn't ever see anything like it. But the stores here feel just like they did in Kentucky. When I ask that question, I'm not asking if you guys have Bookman's. I know you don't have Bookman's. It's only in Arizona. I'm asking if you have buy, sell, trade stores. James says they have a second in Charles that buys and sells used media, which is funny because my hometown opened up one of those too. They're like a nationwide chain that does that, which always makes me think, Bookman's has a lot of power around here. They should start popping up everywhere else, I think. That's funny. Well, I'm bummed for the rest of you guys that don't have anything like that. Everyone could definitely use one. I feel like if I've proven anything with my channels, is you can trade some stupid stuff for video games.
Yeah.
Speaking of wizards, look up Toys R Us Limited Wizard Furby. Now that sounds like something I need to have. Give it to me. That's funny.
You don't have enough Furbies yet.
Yeah, no, I'm not there. I'm doing pretty good. As you guys can see, I've done a little bit of Furby organization. I almost have a whole Furby shelf. It's getting there. I actually don't have the little McDonald's ones on display because I just didn't get to it, but that's all my regular Furby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 39 regular sized Furbies of different generations.
And a Furby yo-yo.
And a single, did you see that
That's
up close?
sweet. Yeah, that's so cool.
This guy's a yo-yo aficionado.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Not an aficionado?
No.
Connoisseur?
I know about yo-yos a little.
He knows a little bit about yo-yos. He knows a lot more about yo-yos than the rest of you, so I don't know what his problem is, but
He's very modest.
that's funny.
That's
it's
sweet.
cool though, isn't it?
Ultimate performance electronic yo-yo.
Well, what's funny about it is that it's Tiger.
branded.
Well, it's Tiger Electronics. So what they actually did is there's several. I had a Pikachu yo-yo that they also made, and it's literally just this, but with Pikachu instead of the Furbies on it.
That's awesome.
So they rebranded this exact yo-yo for a lot of stuff. It's kind of funny. Loving the Furby shelf so far. It's a thing of beauty. I agree. I'm very fond of it. It's a pretty odd thing to see this grown man in a suit with shorts, with high kick shorts on, in his Furby shelf.
It's normal for me.
Yeah.
That's how I just picture you all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys know any other eccentric collectors that high kicks and has Furbies? I got over 400 in trade in there. Just took a bunch of nonsense in. That's what I'm talking about, man. I love trading nonsense for video games. It's literally my favorite thing to do.
We did that today.
Yeah.
Ooh, we did. You guys traded in a bunch of nonsense. that you got.
Skylander,
Yeah.
Disney Infinity stuff.
Disney
Yeah.
That's
Disney.
awesome. We got a good question. How did we meet? And how long have we known each other? Who wants to answer that?
I'll answer.
Okay, go
for
ahead,
it.
Elisa.
Best memory.
So we were watching the Game On Expo. Was it 2019? that we
I don't
went?
even remember now.
Yeah, it
no
was.
2020.
Yeah.
So we had gone to the Game On Expo and we were watching some of our favorite YouTubers that we knew popped up there, but we wanted to see if anyone local had also popped up there, and we came across his channel because I guess I'm a little self-absorbed because I wanted to see if I was in the background of other people's videos, right? I don't know why, but it was something that I wanted to do. And also, the memory of the blue PSP
The
came
blue
to
PSP.
mind. We were looking at a blue PSP, and it had a decent price on it. It was like surprising, and like I wanted to buy it, but I think we passed on it because of like the back of it.
It had a big ding in the screen.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we came back to it later, and it was gone. And my brother told me that a mountain of a man,
The biggest man he'd ever seen.
a mountain man bought the blue PSP that I wanted, and so that was the other reason was I wanted to track down and see who bought the blue PSP.
Well, how many YouTube videos did you sit there and watch before mine came up?
It wasn't too many. I
5
think-
or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when we learned about Dallas. We're like, oh, this guy's local.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We started watching his videos.
Discord right
and-
away, and yeah, we were in.
And I think I probably had 300 subs at this time. So
Yeah.
a weird set of circumstances happened where me, these guys, and a couple other people went out to dinner. And we've been doing dinner once, twice a month pretty regularly since.
We just do gaming hangouts sometimes. We just, yeah.
How long ago was that then, really?
Oh, man.
It was the end of 2019, right?
Yeah,
so,
I think it was around like October 2019.
so we probably had about 2 years.
Yeah, about then. Yeah.
We're not ready to kill each other yet.
Nope.
That's so funny though. She's told that story a bunch.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's funny that it's funny how simple it was that your brother was just like, this giant man bought it. I don't know what to tell you, Lisa. I couldn't wrestle it away from him. And then you just happen to be watching YouTube videos and this giant man buys. I didn't even buy the PSP, right?
You did.
You turn on. Wait, well I know, but you turn on the video and you're like, oh, this is the guy. This is the guy.
yeah.
That
This is
guy.
a large
This is
guy.
yeah.
I think I bought the blue PSP.
That's funny. Oh man, that's a great question though. What we got? Any other questions, Hannah?
They have a question for us about RPG fans.
Go ahead.
Have
Where's
we
it?
played Final Fantasy XIV? So, I played...
Well, let me give a little
Okay.
context. If you guys don't know, Joe's been spamming the link to their channel in the chat box. So go subscribe to their channel. Lots of RPG content because the name of your channel is,
JRPG Life.
which is why they are able to answer the JRPG questions. So
Yeah.
please go ahead.
So I actually picked up on release day, took time off work to buy Final Fantasy 14 because I was playing World of Warcraft like way too much, like everybody does. And I picked up the original version, and those that know of the game know that the original version failed. You'd go into an instance, and each would have their own instance of monsters to kill, and you couldn't interact with those. You could only interact with your... It was really broken. And it was a really neat white box. We still have it. And then after that, I was into it for a little bit, and then I said, nah, it's just broken and weird, and they fired half the staff on it.
Yeah,
And,
the game was so broken that the developer apologized to everybody.
yeah.
Now, I never got into Final Fantasy 14 because it was an MMO, and that wasn't really the kind of games that I was playing at the time. I didn't have like a powerful PC to really do it either, or good internet connection, like, to be honest. But yeah, he's played a bit of it, and he's got the original fob for it, and it's
Yeah.
a
Big
nice
old box.
collector's box. It's pretty cool.
And that's when they created A Realm Reborn, and the rest is history, because it's a very popular game. But I didn't jump back in. I refuse to play an MMO anymore. It'll take too much of my time.
That's funny. Well, let's talk a little bit more about RPGs because it's not really pants. Our cat, the cat wants me to hold him, but I have a black suit on, home dog.
Do it anyway.
Okay.
At least it wants to. Oh,
Well,
no,
he ran away.
He's like, nope. He's as big as you are.
Explain in simple what an RPG is. I honestly don't know what the J in JRPG stands
Japanese role-playing
for. Okay,
game.
simple
So
answer.
It's just so there's RPGs, right? Anything that's a role-playing game is considered to be an RPG, but JRPGs are typically developed by the Japanese developers instead of Western developers. So like Skyrim, right, would be an RPG. Final Fantasy is a JRPG developed by a Japanese studio.
I like Obi-Wan said he lost a lot of years to WoW. So I recorded actual game time of 9 months playing WoW.
On WoW? Wow.
Yeah. 9 months of
Wow.
actual game time.
Okay, listen.
Wow.
I'm not at all trying to get someone to
it's
one up you,
bad.
but listen, I guarantee somebody watching can comment
Oh,
that
yeah.
they had more. Because my oldest brother, I bet he has multiple years logged on it. I bet he's put 9 months on vanilla WoW since
Right?
it's been re-released.
Yeah.
That's funny. Pants, you wanted me to pick you up. Why are you being like this? Go bonus.
Oh.
Somebody asked if the two girls are going to do a collab at some point.
What kind of collab would we do?
Well, you guys,
know.
you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're both interested in having your own channel with
Having
slightly
separate
different
channels.
content, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
You could dye Hannah's hair pink.
I could take a lot of bleach.
I pay a professional, so I don't think she would want.
You don't want to
No,
trust
I mean,
No.
I can bald if it all goes wrong.
I mean, if I burn your scalp, will we still be friends?
We'll still be friends, but don't judge my hair.
That's funny. Someone said, "Oh no, ruined suit." I mean, we lit rolled me right before we started, but
It's over. Look at
Yeah, we'll
this.
just have to do it again.
This ham.
He just wants attention. Is all he wants.
Who's our favorite character from Final Fantasy X? Adversely, my answer is going to differ from Daniel's. I liked Kimari the best because he's basically a giant cat warrior, you know.
I would have to say Auron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arn is, pretty much the bad A of the game.
Oh, he's
like,
so,
everybody
he's
loves
so
him.
awesome.
But
And the plot twist with Auron's great.
Which Final Fantasy are we talking about?
10.
10,
The only one I've played.
Yes.
Well, I played 10 too as well.
Yeah.
It's 10.
Much different.
Yeah, but I did not understand what an RPG was when I played it. It was probably the first RPG that I ever played. I mean, you could probably count some random stuff on Super Nintendo that I played as such.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
I didn't understand the leveling up stuff. So maybe you can tell me what this was. But I got to the point where there's this giant bug thing, this giant creature you got to fight. It's pretty early in the game.
Secret of Evermore.
But I couldn't defeat it because I hadn't leveled up properly. So I didn't really play much further than that.
It's probably Secret of Evermore. Did you have a dog with you?
I don't recall.
okay.
We're talking when it was brand new that I played it.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? 10, 15 years?
Right.
Yeah.
longer than that.
Longer than that.
Even longer,
25.
We need a pants channel. We have a pants cam. If you ever check out our Minecraft videos. Link in the video's description. Pants is very often laying in the background of all of my camera angles. He likes to sit there and watch me play. I don't know what it is about Minecraft Pants likes. I think it's the chickens. That's just my best guess.
He's hungry all the time.
I second the Hannah cooking show. Well, as I've already said in this video, there is also a link in the chat box to another channel where these live streams are going to live. And when we have that second channel running and do this weekly show on it, we can do other random live stuff occasionally and do some live cooking shows on there. If we
That would be a good collab for the two of us.
Just
She
come
is a
over.
great cook.
She can cook, yeah.
We'll subscribe to that channel if you want to see that kind of thing. So we can have a place to do this kind of live show and not clutter up this page too much.
I can confidently say I could bake just about anything. Like any desserts there are, I'm up for the challenge.
Let's do it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then we'll eat it.
Yeah.
That'll be part of the deal.
Have you played the Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we beat it.
What did you think about it?
It was real well done.
It's very pretty. It is a little different from the original, but you know they have to expand the storyline into multiple parts and add things that they weren't able to add before back in the day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just not the hugest fan of action RPGs unless they're done really well, and it was a good mix. I liked it.
we didn't play the old school style. There is an option for turn-based combat. This combat was more along the lines of a mix between Kingdom Hearts 2, 3, and Final Fantasy 15. If those two battle styles came together, that's the battle style of Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
You go ahead. You feel free to answer any of those you see if you want to answer. I know you can see those questions, but someone asked, has an RPG ever made you cry? I'm pretty sure.
start with that
yeah.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you guys have told us of a couple.
You know, like Final Fantasy 6 definitely had some moments. Of course, Final
The opera
Fantasy.
scene in 6.
Nah, I'm thinking about Cyan and his family.
Oh.
They all got poisoned and
Yeah.
died.
That was rough,
And then
too.
he met the ghosts of his family on the train, and his wife and son were leaving for the departed realm. That was pretty
That
killer.
was heart-wrenching.
Who are these game developers? What happened to them?
That's Final Fantasy.
I like the sound of the departed realms.
Yep.
So
Like,
my
like Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
is the land of the undead.
The ghost train
ghost
was
train.
taking them to
Oh,
the
that's even
departed
better.
realm.
Not a boat full of elves?
not this time.
Nope.
That's the other time.
But you do get to fight the ghost train, and if you have Sivan with you, you can suplex the whole train, and it's
It literally
epic.
just goes up and comes down. It's incredible.
Wow. I like the sound of that.
For me, I did once. My first 3D. So I started with Final Fantasy VIII before 7, and when they had the space scene, catching Renoa, I shed a tear. It was great. I was in like junior high, elementary school.
Fun fact: at our wedding, we did the Final Fantasy VIII waltz,
We did.
and
And it
it
is
was
Wow.
so
fast.
difficult.
So fast. People
Be-
don't realize how fast it is until you try it. Like,
Because we hired a professional choreographer to basically design the dance to teach us, and they do it so fast in the game that is almost humanly impossible to do. Luckily, I don't really get dizzy, so he had
spinner
to
all the
spin me
time. Yeah.
like
Oh, it was so
what was
fast.
it, like 12 times in each direction at one
That's funny.
point.
Yeah.
Lord, I'd have thrown up and fell over.
I almost did just watching it. Yeah. It was,
Well, what console was that on then? If it was
PlayStation
6?
1.
It was on
PS1.
PS1?
Yeah.
8. Yeah.
That's crazy. What? Go ahead.
Do you have a favorite RPG or RPG series?
Well, like Final Fantasy is obviously the obvious one for both of us. But if I were to pick one JRPG that was like my favorite, and this might become cliche for some people, but it is hands down the original Super Nintendo Secret of Mana.
Okay.
You know, I bounce between two, but I'm going to go with the one that's more controversial because it's still the one I think about and want to keep playing. That's Final Fantasy 13. Yeah, I played all the in-game content in that, and the reason it's my favorite is because I lost 3 discs. So back when Blockbuster used to put the sticky "Don't Steal Me" adhesive on the disc,
Uh-huh.
I had it flip up on me and ruin my first PlayStation 3. And
Oh,
then
wow.
I didn't realize it was ruining my first PlayStation 3 until I literally brought back 3 Final Fantasy 13 discs going, there's something wrong with them.
By the way, that was a backwards compatible one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And when it ruined it, he couldn't get another one.
No. So then they gave me a Slim, and then I lost my Final Fantasy 12 saves.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But so I had to, and then when my buddy John, when I was beating it, it froze on me and my hard drive crashed. But I
Right.
had just recently backed it up on a thumb drive, so I brought it to my friend's house just to beat it. So I have a long history with that game, and I put like 150, 170 hours in it. I love it.
Chunk said he sent us a direct message about the Bookman's in Tucson. I will definitely get back to you on that, my friend. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. This is a really interesting conversation because, like, RPGs are such a huge part of gaming, right? Because, I mean,
Yeah.
Zelda games are kind of technically RPGs sometimes,
think
or
they
some
can
of them
consider,
are,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, not really a great example, but, like, Paper Door, Mario, and all that. Some of those games are, like, definitely RPGs, right? Thousand Year Door, sorry.
Thousand-
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so like those are definitely some. If some of you are watching, I bet you there's some people listening to this. They're like, I haven't ever played anything like that. But
Yeah.
I mean, oops, you know, there are definitely some Mario versions of RPG games out there. That'll probably be the closest I get to playing some of this. Because listen, I like RPGs, and I definitely love the ones that you guys are talking about that have just these like super immersive stories. But some of these games, and this is my question that I have, some of these games have insane play times, right? Like, Elisa, talk about some of the longer RPGs you've beat, because I've never heard anything like this.
So I'm not sure if Persona 5 Royale is my longest game time. It's either I'm still working on it, so I'm not done with it yet. But that and Ni no Kuni, the very first one, I think I clocked about 200 hours into it.
Wow.
Persona 5 Royale, I'm currently at 160 hours. And
Currently,
I know,
like you're still playing it.
yeah, and so I might platinum it. I'm like 70% on trophies on it. I know I have one more dungeon that I know of, because I'm trying not to spoil the game for myself. But in order to figure out what the trophies are, you kind of have to look at the trophies. So I know I need to do one more dungeon. I need to pick out a girlfriend, which I'm
Yes!
Yes.
So I'm deciding between the student council girl or the gamer shut-in.
Is this sounding really real for anybody?
So those are my two picks, and you can't change my mind otherwise. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with the student council girl, but I'll probably hit like 200 hours with the game. Honestly, I've already beaten the Reaper, which is the hardest, the most difficult boss in the game, which is
That was an epic fight. Yeah.
optional. So there's that. But I haven't played any MMOs, so it's not like I've put
those don't
9 months into anything.
Well, I mean, it's not like I can't fathom playing a video game for that long. My friends and I play Minecraft all day on Wednesdays, sometimes for 8 or 9 hours. So, like, I get it. But that's awesome.
Sam Elf, Super Gaming, talking about Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah, so I think we're almost done
About
with
40
that one.
hours into it, and we just can't stop playing. I just discovered there's golf in it.
And so Daniel loves golfing games
Yeah. There's just
and
golf
like
inside of
Tetris.
this.
There's a sub game, yeah.
So
So I had to go beat every piece of it that I could this morning.
Of course.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna keep playing golf. It's so good. We're about 40 hours in, and we could complete the story probably within 5, but there's too much fun stuff to do on the side. It's so good.
That's wild. So, I mean, how often does an RPG have? I mean, what do a lot of these games look like that one? And how much gameplay is there, and how much shenanigans to do around the gameplay is there? Because that game sounds
Yeah.
like it has more shenanigans than
So
gameplay.
much. I think it's
Well, I
all
mean,
about
Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah.
As a very basic
Perfect
example like
example.
that,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can play through that game in like 8 hours. It's not serious.
Yeah.
But then people like me and some of you watching have spent a few months of your life playing the shenanigans, doing nothing.
Yeah. I would say most of the RPGs I play are like 40 to 50 hour playthroughs or 100 for completionist. She's opposite. She's like, well, let me just play it. If it's not at least 100 hours, I'm not going to pick it up.
no, well, it's just so like Persona PlayStation 1 games. I've recently done a playthrough Suikoden 2 like within the last 6 months, and I broke the game.
Oh wow.
Okay, So I tend to
That's right.
take my time with RPGs in general, just because I don't want to have to go back and restart the whole game because I broke a PS1 game trying to play it, because I figured out I could push open a gate to get into like a more difficult area that I wasn't supposed to be in, but I had a party member requirement that I swapped out those party members, and then when I tried to proceed with the story, the whole
Just
game
glitched.
you know how in like Pokemon you get missing number?
Yeah.
That's what the two characters turned into, and the whole game froze and like glitched, and I couldn't get past it. So I had to go back about 20 hours and start from there again.
You must have picked the wrong girlfriend. Okay,
so.
Bad joke,
That's,
but
no, that's it.
clearly picked the wrong girlfriend.
So there's no patches for PS1 games, right? Unless you go, around
Shark.
about it.
That's
you
a
know?
whole nother rabbit hole to go down.
Oh,
With
yeah.
patches that have come out as of late to fix those weird broken bits in games from long ago.
You can use a Game Shark to fix Suikoden 2.
Right.
You-
Which is wild.
Yeah.
You've played the Shadow Heart series, right?
Yes, yeah.
We've got a number of comments asking about that.
So I played about half of the first one, honestly, and then I got out of it and never went back to Covenant or any of those.
Hi, Leif.
Is that your brother?
Yeah.
Which
that's
one?
Leif.
I mean, is he?
He's the younger
D
the
D
youngest
Leif
brother.
at top.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Nice.
He's the one that saw you at the gaming expo.
Oh, he's the
Mountain of
one?
a Man.
You're the
Did he just drop by her, Leif? Have you been here the whole time? She was talking about you at length. That's hilarious. In Mario Kart, who would win?
Dallas.
Well, me and Dan usually are number 1 and 2, and then Hannah's usually way at last.
Hey now.
It literally depends on who's played more recently.
Right,
Both,
yeah,
like
yeah,
if we
that's
both
right, yeah.
played right now, we'd be trash.
We both be trash.
But if we
yeah.
both play for the next 3 days, we'd be the best.
It's-
Speaking of which, I guess this would be a nice little topic to bring up, and I'd love to hear if anyone else has heard anything about it. But Dan has some magic thing on his phone that's telling him really awesome rumors. And you said there may or may not be a new Mario Kart game rumored to be coming.
Yeah, 4chan just and 4chan is 4chan.
4chan is 4chan.
Yeah.
Don't listen. If you don't know what 4chan is, don't worry about it.
So they called it Mario Kart Maximum, one of those
Yeah.
two. It supposedly is composed of all of the previous courses, except for the SNES ones are in traditional 16-bit mode. There's like, instead of calling it 50, 100, and 150cc, it's called like beginner, moderate, expert, and like Mario Pro or something like that.
Right.
And, 16-player simultaneous multiplayer and stuff like that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody else, we seem to have some people with inside informations in the chat today. If anybody knows more about a new Mario Kart game, that's definitely something to listen. If there's an announcement, let's just say hypothetically, there's a Mario Kart announcement next week, the next live show will be about nothing
Yeah,
but
we just
because
got to play it.
there's not much in this world I love more than Mario Kart. Maybe Minecraft. It's like Minecraft, Mario Kart. That's exactly my top two. But also, I thought we might talk a little bit about, just while we're on that RPG topic a little bit, are there any upcoming RPG games you guys are just going crazy about? And again, we're sticking to these questions because these guys' YouTube channel name is JRPG Life. Like, this is, I mean, literally, I think originally when I met you, I think I saved your last name because I didn't know your last name at the time. It was just like Dan, RPG guy. No joke. So is there anything
Appropriate.
coming up that you're super excited about?
So we just got Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne on the Switch, which is a port of the PS2 game.
Yeah.
Neither of us have played the original PS2 game. As I mentioned in the Persona collection video, America got Persona first, and we didn't get Shin Megami Tensei, which is the original series, until later on. So I was hooked on the Persona series, but I didn't really honestly find out about the Shin Megami Tensei series until about the 3DS era, and that's when I got Shin Megami Tensei 4. Which,
Yeah. And so the way we consume RPGs is kind of unique, right? So we play one together, couples experience.
Yep.
That right now is Yakuza Like a Dragon. And then we each are playing one on our respective handhelds. If she's playing Persona 5 Royale on the TV, I'll have my 3DS out and I'm playing 7th Dragon Code VFD.
Yep.
And which is real good. I'm liking it so far. You can be like a hacker. It's really neat. And And then she's like, if I'm on the TV playing, I don't know, a big game or whatever, she's playing a solo RPG on her own. And right now you're playing on portable. Well, you're doing Final Fantasy Legends.
So, so right now I'm playing Persona Royale right on the PS4, but on portable I started playing Adventures of Mana, which is a remake of Final Fantasy Adventures. If you didn't know, there is a digital version of the remake of Adventures of Mana on the PlayStation Vita online store. There's not a physical copy. Your only other option to play it is on your smartphone, but you know, who wants to play on your smartphone when you can play on your Vita?
So to answer your question,
go ahead.
You were saying, you know, what are we looking forward to? Shin Megami Tensei is our couple experience after we're done with Yakuza.
Yeah.
And individually,
You know, I see someone mentioning Ys 8 as well. We have it a pre-order of the special edition that's coming our way. We're definitely super excited about that. We'll
Ys
probably
9?
play that. Yes,
Yeah.
Ys 9.
Well, I was wondering what that is. Why I would just said YS9. Why is it YS9? Is that just a joke?
That's how it's
that's
pronounced
just what
in
it is?
Japanese, yeah.
Interesting. Oh, okay. So that's just the English phonetics for what it is called in Japanese. Do you guys collect any RPG game art books? This is a really good question because there's a lot of people here that may or may not be convinced. Actually, I bet most of the people here that are down to be here for a live show probably have already subscribed to these guys. But if there's anybody wanting to be convinced more to do so, you guys collect a lot of RPG games. So what percentage of, okay, you've got about how many you don't have to say how many video games, but about what
about 2,500 video games.
About what portion of your video games is RPGs and what's
75%.
not? About 70. You have a collection about the same size as what you see here, several thousand games, and 75% of it is RPGs.
That's what we
purposely.
Purposely, yeah.
And what else do you guys collect on top of that? Because you guys have got a lot of content to come for your channel that's going to have more stuff on it.
So my second favorite genre for sure is survival horror.
Yes.
Right? So I grew up with the Resident Evil series on PlayStation 1.
I grew up with Silent Hill, so two different paths.
The tank controls were really too complicated for me, and honestly, they still are. But my brothers played through Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil Nemesis, and I was just hooked. Every time they would run a playthrough of Resident Evil 2, like, I had to watch it. It didn't matter what hour it was or if I had homework. I just needed to watch it. So that's something else that we really like collecting for is survival horror on top of it. So there's like Clodelka, right?
Clodelka we need.
We need to collect that. That's kind of the Japanese survival horror.
And Ku-On, but that's...
You know, Hunting Ground would be amazing to find, but Rule of Rose.
Well, how about things outside of video games, but still perhaps video game related? Because this person asked about like art books and stuff. But what's this they were mentioning specifically? Do you guys know this?
Shin Megami Tensei Persona art book.
Yeah, so some of my special editions do have art books with them. I do have a Dragon Warrior art book, and we have some
Amano art.
Amano art.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love to find one day the Xenogears art book that only came out in Japan. So it's all in kanji, and I won't be able to read it, but it's an art book anyways. So, but that would be a holy grail find for me. I've seen pictures of the art book, but even if our 2 trips to Japan, we've never come across that art book.
Yeah.
Hillary says survival horror, aka 2020. Too real, Hillary. You don't have to make me feel bad.
Pandemic.
Those things.
Resident Evil.
But yeah, you guys. I think the first time we met, you guys and I both talked about like, oh, I need to come do a game room tour. I've always wanted to do somewhat of a series on this channel touring other people's game rooms. But now that you guys have your own channel, when the new year comes, you need to do a game room tour because that's just what us YouTubers do. But you guys have some really interesting bits because, like, I think you can tell a lot about a person when you look at the organization of their quote unquote game room, man cave. I don't know, comment below. What do you call your personal space? I just say the game room. I've never come up with anything more clever.
Yeah.
But like, I've got like really pretty neatly organized video games, and then I've just got like madness, right? Because I almost wish I had it flipped so you could.
It's sweet though.
Well, I wish I had it flipped so you could walk into our front door and go, "Oh, this guy's a video game collector. Oh my God, there's Furby," you know? Because like the way that your eyes are drawn in when you come in is a little bit different. But you guys' game room, it's obviously way more video game specific because that's what you guys just have, this awesome video game collection. But you also have a few toys and other things you collect. I mean, you don't collect Furby because there's something wrong with you, but what other kind of stuff do you collect?
She's really into the Pokemon plush.
Yeah, I do. Really
A habit
enjoy
I've
plush.
been no help to.
Yeah.
You've provided us some for the collection for sure.
Like 80s toys is something that I'd really like to get bigger into collecting, but it's so much more difficult nowadays. Like if I was looking for this 10 years ago, I would have had a much easier time
Sure.
finding 80s toys, but at garage sales like nowadays, like it's a
Slim pickings.
1 out of 1,000. Maybe I'll find a broken He-Man or something. But I'm going for a complete Gem the Hologram original 80s doll collection, and I actually only need 2
Wow.
from the original release.
How many total is the original release?
It's not that many. Like I think it's like maybe like 24 dolls.
Okay.
But
That's cool.
So
I have
fewer
most
than
of them.
brats.
A lot fewer than Bratz.
There's a lot of Bratz dolls
Yeah.
out there. It's pretty wild.
Do you guys collect any amiibos? You've got a couple, right?
Just the ones that like make sense to us to keep in the box and save. Like I'm a huge Dr. Mario fan.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got a Dr. Mario.
That's almost
figure.
an understatement.
Yeah,
This man's
that's my
obsessed
game.
with what?
Throw down right now, anybody. Let's play Dr. Mario. That's the only game I've got.
Yeah.
So you've got that amiibo in box?
Yeah.
I think I've got a Yoshi amiibo around here. That's it.
Yeah.
I think that's about all I got. I think one of these guys sent it to me. But it's just not something, well, I can't say it's not something I'm interested in. I have 86% of the whole Skylander collection, so same but different. But that was because it was all at the thrift store. Obviously, there aren't so many amiibo showing up at the thrift.
If they made a Bratz amiibo, would you get it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The
Should I even ask?
Bratz needs to be the next character in Super Smash. I said it.
just,
I said it.
Snap off an amiibo from the base and then glue one of the McDonald's Bratz onto it.
Done.
And be like,
Are you
done.
talking about making
There
your
you
own?
go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
gotta happen.
That's hilarious. We saw an amiibo today. You'll probably see it on tomorrow's main channel episode. How much was it? It was
$200.
$200 amiibo. Boom!
For a character from Fire Emblem, I think.
How many Funko Pops do you guys have? Well, I can answer this question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see 8 right here. 9. We've got 9. How many do you guys have? Any?
Probably about the same,
Same.
honestly.
Just you collect them randomly
Just
for
the little ones we want, Gem and the Hologram ones.
stuff that
Yeah,
has to do with what you collect otherwise.
I've got the 2 Gem and the Hologram ones. I have the He-Man She-Ra one, and
Yeah.
like I've got a Thundercat, Lino, and Snarf, and we got a couple of Magic ones as well.
Yeah, we have a Nissan and a Johnny.
Yeah.
Hannah, we've this really interesting thing happens when something comes out that has something to do with anything we like. So that Netflix movie, what was it called?
Stranger Things? Oh no, movie.
With the Furby, with the giant Furby.
Oh,
Something in
There's
the.
a wait.
Mitchell's versus Machines.
What?
Well, there's a Furby movie on here, but that's different. There's Mitchell's versus Machines. There's a Netflix movie, and it's like it's hard to explain, but there's a cameo by Furby, and this giant evil Furby shows up. So it's hilarious. I highly recommend it.
That's
Matter
how
of
I
fact-
picture Furbies, so that makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, well, I've joked so many times about these things being evil because they have this weird
Yeah.
presence, and it's what I love about them, how creepy they are. And so this movie came out, and now, I mean, every day about 5 or 6 Instagram messages, 4 or 5 people on the Discord, Facebook, everywhere I'm on the internet, people share the link because they want me to see it. And then it's been that way this week with Hannah. Any way that people can find Hannah, they've been sharing the links for the Hot Topic, just the new Bratz release. There's new Bratz dolls for the first time in a good little while.
So crazy.
So tell us about that, because I know nothing.
So it's their 20th anniversary. So Bratz came out in 2001. It's 2021, y'all. Don't know if you knew that.
a long
So
time
they re-released the exact replicas of the first 4 dolls, which were Chloe, Jasmine, Sasha. Did I say Jasmine? Jeez. Chloe,
Get
out! Jade,
Failed.
and Sasha. In their same clothes they had in 2001. Pretty much, if you pull these dolls out of the box, pull your 2001 doll out of the collection, they look the same.
Identical, yeah.
But the box art is different. So there's like a 20th anniversary
That-
little thing on the front of it.
That was going to be my next question if the box art was different. Because, like,
Yeah.
have you seen all these Power Ranger toys they re-released? The
Crazy.
exact same box and everything?
So
So, anyway, not to bring Power Rangers into everything.
But it is kind of nice that they went ahead and distinguished the two because, you know, if with people who go to Goodwills and find things to flip, wouldn't you be so mad if you showed up, you're like, oh my god, this doll's from 2001, it's worth X amount of dollars in box, and it's like actually just, you know, from last week, from Hot Topic. Like, that's so frustrating. I don't ever expect to get the 2001 dolls in box, ever.
Those are probably the ones that are super valuable, right?
I'll
Or
look
they're-
them up and see how much
Well,
they go for.
If
in
not,
box,
they're
but
going to be
they are
when these re-releases
probably,
coming out.
yeah.
Well, with the comments, somebody says they have 800 Funko Pops. Go to the Discord right now and
Wow.
post a picture of that.
Yeah.
That you've got a pop store is what you're telling me, right? Because that sounds like about enough stock to make a Funko Pop store.
Yeah.
There's a new Rugrats series out. Is it already out? We talked about it earlier on a live show.
People want to see your pin.
Oh, that's what he's talking about. Well, I've been ignoring him because I had no idea what P.I. He just keeps saying P.I.N. P.I.N. It's
He got
page.
timed out for a bit because he was spamming that.
Okay, vote for Pedro. Stop spamming. Hannah, have you ever made any cosplay costumes or anime costumes?
I have not.
Ooh.
Honestly, my background is in costuming for theater. Making costumes for myself was never something that I was like super into, but I have made stuff for you.
Yeah.
I made a Jedi costume for you one time. That's all I can really come up with right
Well,
now. But I'm sure there's
so
others.
I mean, more importantly, I've shot about 6 or 7 feature-length films with my filmmaking friends, and pretty much all of them, Hannah's done the costuming. So I don't think I advertise it anywhere, but if you want to search my name on YouTube, I should come up, Dallas Blanton. There is a channel with my films on it. I don't really mix this world with that one too much. But almost every movie you're going to watch, Hannah either did the wardrobing or there's like a Western film on there. Hannah made all the Western costumes for it. Did a really good job. So if you want to see some of the stuff she's made, you can go check that out.
Looping back a little bit to, if you wanted to buy the 2001 brass dolls in box, you were paying at least $200 for them. So
Each?
yes.
I was going to say, if it's the whole set, take my card,
Yeah.
baby. Let's go.
That's just one of them.
Yeah.
There is one of the Chloe listed right now for $300 with 10 watchers, so that's probably going to get sold.
Yeah. I bet
That's
that's,
crazy.
well, all right, well, that's good. Write down a timestamp for this video in your notes so we can come back a few months from now and check it again and see how much the prices went up. Because I bet after those re-releases, those prices go through the roof. But while we're on the topic of dolls, Elisa, you collect Jim and the Hologram dolls. And I want, if you're watching and you know what Jim and the Holograms is, comment. But tell the rest of us what it is and why you collect those.
So in the 80s, there was a cartoon. Like most toys back in the day, you had to have a cartoon show in order to sell toys. So,
That's just how it worked.
right. So Gem and the Holograms is basically an 80s band that forms together because the main character needs to save her father's music company from being sold out to this evil guy, Eric. So,
F.
an
Eric.
evil name.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that she and her adopted sisters are all musically inclined and talented, and Jerica, the main character's mother, was also a singer and musician. And in order to save the music company, they formed together a band for a talent show to win money and a record deal and like a portion of the company. So they formed together a band called Gem and the Holograms. Just so happens that Jerica's dad was like this genius computer guy, and he built this computer that projects holograms, which gives
Can't make this stuff up.
I'm in.
which gives Gem basically a secret identity, or gives Jerica a secret identity to be Gem.
Okay, so it's Hannah Montana before Hannah Montana.
Right,
Got it.
right. Or Miku Hatsune for
Yeah,
nowadays.
okay. I actually get that reference. I really
Yes,
do.
You do.
Yeah, so she creates her own kind of persona of like a pop star, and she calls herself Gem with pink hair to make herself look different. And there is a intelligent robot basically called Synergy that she communicates with. That is the voice of her mother. So happens to be that the records. Now I'm just like spearing off into lore, but
All right,
anyway.
at least just start with episode 1 and walk us through.
That is pretty much episode.
Yeah, that's it.
That was episode 1. All right, move on to episode 2. No, that's awesome. I mean, I had never heard of it until we started hanging out, but I've seen you buy some really interesting Jim and the Holograms stuff. How big? What you've got? Comic books. We gave you a T-shirt once.
Yeah.
What else do you
thank
have, Jim's and the Hologram collecting wise?
There hasn't been too much items I've been able to come across. I know there's a lunchbox out there that I haven't seen, but I'd love to collect that. There was a makeup line that came out a few years ago.
Wow.
I didn't get into that either because honestly, makeup expires.
Yeah,
It's just gross now.
and it was probably wild colors, right? That you're not going to use that often.
Yeah, but I have a couple of T-shirts from Hot Topics from Gem and the Holograms, but mainly the dolls is what I've collected for it. I don't want to say that Gem's like unpopular, but like there's just I feel like there's not a lot of memorabilia out there outside of the original
Yeah.
toy collection and like.
Well, it just had the unfortunate luck to not be Ninja Turtles, so of course it didn't get the most endless amount of merch in the world ever.
Yeah.
But-
I do want to find it on DVD or something and watch it because it
It's-
sounds dope.
It's actually more entertaining. She introduced it to me, and I'm like, this is actually pretty good. It reminds me of like 80s or Spider-Man's like the old stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
What I introduce?
Gem.
Oh, Gem. Yeah,
Yeah.
so the music is actually fantastic.
The show is
Um,
good. It's like there's some hidden adult theme like jokes in there and stuff. It's,
So the writer for Gem and the Holograms also did some writing for both Transformers and G.I. Joe. I think Christy Marks also did a couple of scripts for Turtles as well, Ninja Turtles. So the material is fantastic. Someone mentioned the Misfits. Yes, the Misfits are the opposite band, right? So they're kind of the bad girls, and they're always singing about selfish and greedy things. And
this is
Gem-
episode 2.
they show up in one.
That's
Still
all.
episode 1.
Yeah.
No, that's all.
This is still the setup. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. There is a third band that comes down around the third season, but they're kind of in the middle band. You know, they're like not necessarily bad, but not necessarily good either. But they're just another, so there's a love triangle, of course, going on in the show.
You just keep going. I'm totally gonna make a meme video out of this recap.
I love that comment. So Jay Ford says, y'all are amazing. She remembers a complete episode from 40 years ago. Meanwhile, I have no clue what I ate last night.
Same.
So
This is my life married to her.
so Gem and the Holograms. Let me throw together why I remember Gem and the Holograms lore so well. My grandmother recorded every single episode of 80s cartoons because my family was living
On
overseas.
VHS.
Yep.
VHS.
We were living overseas and we didn't have any English cartoons. So she recorded them every Saturday morning for like 3.5 years. And we still had those tapes when we moved back to the States. And every summer, I watched every single episode of Gem and the Holograms from kindergarten until I graduated high school.
Sounds
Wow.
familiar? SpongeBob?
So I know my Gem lore pretty well.
Because you have a SpongeBob story, right? You've watched a bit of it.
I could never get enough of SpongeBob, which was pretty terrible for children, must say. But I remember one specific moment in my life where I'm like, I love SpongeBob. I could watch this all day, and a SpongeBob marathon was on TV one day, and I literally watched it all day until I think it was about like 8 o'clock at night or so, and one episode came on, I go, I think I've had enough, and I turned it off, and I was just like, well, now I know how much is too much.
That was it.
Literally all day.
Well, that's crazy because the episodes are what, like 7 minutes long or 8? Like they're really short.
There's
So that
two
was
episodes per 30 minutes, so
yeah 50. So that was an insane. That was probably 200
a
episodes.
lot. There's probably
Wow.
an entire season and a half.
How
Well,
many
what's-
episodes are there?
Oh, well, there's 20 years worth now.
Yeah,
So.
Oh,
there's
jeez.
quite a bit now.
Yeah, it's insane. It's hard. I mean, and it's a good bit different now. It's
Yeah.
hard to explain just how, just because it's modernized. It's almost faster, if that were possible. Because
And like bigger in a lot of ways. Their expression, like they make the characters do these really big motions, and it's just strange. I don't like the new stuff as much anymore.
But you still watch it and memorize it.
Yeah.
that's funny. Someone mentioned Silverhawks. Did you guys ever see that show?
So Silverhawks was probably a little bit before the time period where my grandma recorded those episodes, because like Gem and the Holograms is a little too old for me to remember. If we didn't have those VHS tapes, I probably wouldn't know very much about Gem and the Holograms, and that's thanks to my grandma that she recorded all those cool Saturday morning cartoons. So got pretty good trivia knowledge on He-Man, She-Ra, Thundercats, G.I. Joe. What else did I list? You know,
Those
come
are the
at me,
main
bro. But, you know, those are all things I really enjoy. Of course, there's Voltron. We could talk about Voltron, too, which is half and half anime/cartoon, depending on how you look at it.
That's awesome. Well, my buddy Ivan is obsessed with Silverhawks. And I just saw someone said something about it. I had never heard of it until Ivan was talking about it. That's awesome, though. Let's see. Well, I appreciate everybody coming by today. Listen, I've said this a few times in the episode. I'm going to say it again. We have a couple links pinned over in the chat box. Go click on them. Subscribe to these guys' channel. Also, there's a link where we're going to pretty soon switch this live show over too. So if you're enjoying this live show, you want to see future episodes where these guys come hang out and other guests, you're going to want to follow that channel so you can get notifications when we switch over to it. But let's wrap up the conversation about cartoons. Everybody name your favorite cartoon ever. Hannah, I know your answer.
Oh, give me a minute.
I mean, SpongeBob probably.
Really?
Oh, Steven Universe.
God, I was about to kick you in.
Mercy.
Not because I want you to say it's your favorite, but I know it's your favorite.
Yeah, you're like you're messing up here, Hannah.
Elisa, quickly, so Dan has to answer before he thinks of his answer.
Well, obviously Gem and the Holograms, but also shout out She-Ra.
Does it have to be American?
No, not at all.
Initial
Just
D.
anything animated.
Initial D.
That's
Initial
not
D.
a cartoon, that's anime.
It is.
It's animated.
Okay, a cartoon, Darkwing Duck.
Nickelodeon. What's your
It was Darkwing Duck when I was a kid, yeah.
I actually can't think. I've all of a sudden forgotten every animated show. Hannah, what's my favorite?
And you wanted to rush it.
Yeah. I've all of a sudden forgot every animated show I've ever seen.
Bobby, yes.
What's your favorite one? Your favorite cartoon?
I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. I mean, Steven Universe is definitely the best thing, one of the best things I've ever seen, but I don't know that. Let me look on these shelves real quick.
Yeah, what do you have? You like Dragon Ball Z, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic. I'm going to actually go with, I think I'm going to have to go with Gundam, but I forgot the letter, which one it was. W? Or is it G? It's one of the Gundams. I'm going to go with that.
But it's your favorite.
Yeah. It's the one where the boss, I'm going to describe every single season of Gundam ever.
So someone mentioned Mask in the channel. Yes, I'm a huge fan of Mask.
Mask is good.
The cartoon, not the Jim Carrey movie, although those are fine too. But yeah, my brothers had a few of the really cool toys, Totally Jelly. They're really neat. My brother did mention in the channel earlier Choppy and the Princess and Unico. Those were some really old anime that was translated to English, and they're terrible, but I still remember it every terrible minute of watching it.
Well, there's some pretty good. Everyone's spamming their answers. Someone just said Monster Rancher, so same. It's great. But a lot of people said X-Men.
Yeah.
I think we all can agree the '90s X-Men was just
it was
so good.
You can't beat that theme song.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so gnarly. Somebody said, what was the one? Somebody said something that was funny. Family Guy's good. Sure, DuckTales great. Had to scroll back up and read some of them. Someone said something that I was like, oh yeah, that's good.
I mean, Our Real Monsters.
Our Monsters, of course.
Yes.
That's one of Hannah's favorites for sure.
Uh,
Just read some of the other ones.
Mask. Rugrats, Star Blazers,
Star Blazers.
Voltron, She-Ra, Bonkers,
King of the Hill. Let's go.
Ball,
Thundercats.
Thundercat.
Deputy Dog,
Deputy Dog. That's an old
Deputy
one.
Dog. Jeez,
DuckTales.
I remember that.
Family Guy, Monster Rancher. Where's Waldo?
That was a
Where's
cartoon?
Waldo on a TV show?
Yeah.
Did they?
Interesting.
Well, it
Huh.
hit itself too well for me. So.
Yeah. We couldn't find it. That's awesome.
It's a good little one. There you go. Ronin Warriors. I don't know that.
Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was too good to be true. Really, I love that show so much. I think it ended while I was in high school. The last episodes. It was good though. I don't know if they've made more, but it was the final showdown came out when I was in high school. Batman the Animated Series, good. Gummy
Yeah.
Bears was good, though I could never remember it was called Gummy Bears because it was just too specific. I don't know.
Yeah.
It should be called Wizard Bears or something.
Centurions. Remember that one? That one's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
Yu-Gi-Oh's good. That might be one of the few animes Hannah's seen every episode of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Love the Gargoyle series. Big fan.
Same. That was one that was always on at a certain time whenever I was watching TV too, and I'd turn it on and be like, this is pretty dope.
Well,
It was on right before Darkwing Duck.
They have the majority
remember that.
of the Star Trek: The Next Generation, like cast members voicing gargoyles. So it was like really cool and very well written.
Apparently, there's a new Where's Waldo cartoon on Peacock. All right, let's do this. We're gonna wrap up the live show basically with this. Hannah has some trivia open. She's gonna ask us each a few trivia questions. It's gonna be kind of rapid fire. If you don't know the answer, Hannah's gonna you. Hannah's gonna ask the three of us some questions, but we'll put a little twist on this too. Hannah, keep an eye on the chat because if you guys have any video game trivia, I want you to also drop it in the. It doesn't have to be exactly video game, but video game animation adjacent. You guys can drop some questions. Hannah will take a few of those. And the winner of the trivia gets a popsicle.
And I get a popsicle too.
Which is kind of...
I can't win!
To be
yes!
clear.
This all makes sense now. But yeah, Hannah, drop us each a question. We'll start with Elisa because she's the big brain.
Alright. I need to find an
Avert your
Elisa
eyes.
question.
Don't cheat.
Are you good?
Well, the thing is that she's probably gonna know the most. So.
Unless it's survival horror or RPG, might not know it.
All right, Elisa. What is the most expensive video game made to date?
Really? That's
Most
a weird question.
expensive?
Oh. Do we get to steal if they don't know? Like, does someone else get a chance? I know the answer. You probably do too. It's asking which video game is sold for the most. It's actually kind of obvious when you think about it that way.
Well, let's see. Is it? I have two things in my mind: either Tetris or Wii Sports.
It's not okay. No, what video game probably has sold individually for the most? Not what's sold the most copies.
Super Mario.
There you go. What's the answer, Hannah?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Wow.
I led you. Well, you didn't know anyways, but I led you astray because that comes up a lot in video game trivia. A copy of Super Mario Brothers Sealed has sold for like $1.5 million or something dumb. I would not have. Wait, so that question's saying that
It's made
Okay.
more money.
Okay, let's just move on. She gets
Yeah.
another one because that was.
Weird.
She gets another one because that was a trash question.
It's been ported to almost everything, so
Yeah.
it makes
You
sense.
played on it.
Well, the same trivia earlier asked what was the best-selling video game of all time, and it was Minecraft.
Yeah.
So this,
Yeah, that was an easy question. Anyway,
give her another one.
all right. What food was Pac-Man modeled after?
What?
What food?
Yes.
We're all gonna lose. A popsicle for everybody.
Pizza?
But your answer
great.
is pizza.
That's a great guess.
He was eating pizza. Yes.
Let's go! All right, give Dan
Oh, boy.
a banger.
Alrighty.
Hopefully I can get lucky.
Whew. Well, shoot. I want
That's
to ask you
hilarious.
what's the best-selling handheld game system to date?
Yeah, let's skip
That
those
might be-
questions.
All right. What is the first video game character to have a balloon feature in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
Ooh,
A balloon feature? It's got to be like
yeah,
Mario.
it's got to be.
I'm gonna say Pac-Man.
Does anyone want to steal?
If it's not those two,
Donkey Kong?
no, it's gonna be.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Really?
Really? Wow.
Rip.
Wow.
That's kind of dumb. All right, next question.
All right. do. What year was the first virtual reality headset created?
So it's obviously gonna be the Nintendo. So I'm gonna go with So okay, it's gonna be late '90s or mid to late '90s because the Game Boy came out in like '89, '90, right?
I don't know. I'm not looking at that answer.
Okay, I'm gonna go with '96.
95.
Ah!
Oh, I'll give you half a point. That
Half-
was too
it
close.
was the virtual boy.
So it was the
It was
virtual
the
board.
Yeah.
virtual boy,
Wow.
yes.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
had-
say-
Somebody else did
I was
something
gonna
hokey
guess
before
Theme
that.
Park.
Yeah, they might have this. These people don't have
Official.
received their
Yeah.
research all the way down, but
You
I
might
knew
know
it was
that
mid
one, but that's
'90s.
a good question for Daniel.
Okay.
All right, Elisa's next question. The score is currently 1 point, 0 points, half a point, I guess. Guy in the top half can do half points.
Okay, these are all really easy questions. Should I do one easy question for each person?
What? How are they easy? Because you know the answers.
Well, they are labeled in a category called easy trivia.
Eh.
So
Okay. I don't know.
No.
Dan says skip it. Hard
Skip it.
questions
Skip it.
only.
Skip it. Hard questions only.
hard questions.
You gotta
Okay,
challenge this
hard
one.
video game questions is the next category.
That's
All
really a
right.
category?
Yes.
Perfect.
What's this website? Read this off so people can see it.
Icebreakerideas.com.
That's awful.
All right. Hey, Lisa, in the game BioShock, have you played BioShock?
No.
Do you know anything about BioShock?
Oh, a little bit.
Do you know anything about... Okay, well, fine. We'll skip that one. You don't know anything about
We
BioShock.
haven't
You
played
can
much BioShock.
Just read it.
Okay.
I might know it.
What is the original name for the gene bank?
Skip it. It's too
Skip it.
specific.
Yeah,
You-
nope.
In the original Legend of Zelda game, why was the maximum amount of rubies set at 255?
Memory storage.
That's, I mean,
That's a fair
enough
answer.
bits.
Capacity restraints on integer values in an 8-bit system.
Yep.
We'll give you that one.
All right.
That'll work.
Nice.
All right, do you see? We got any good questions in the chat? I see everyone guessing. Does anybody know what Atari means? Does it stand for something?
Oh, we did that at one point.
All right, what's the next question, Hannah?
Alrighty. Dan, what was the first...
Get ready.
What was the first gaming console to have internal memory?
Internal memory?
Internal. I know what I would guess, but I'd probably be really wrong.
Probably internal memory. It's later. It's going to be much later. It's going to be past memory cards.
What time is it?
Yeah. Gosh. I mean, even Dreamcast didn't. PS2 didn't.
Can I make a guess as well?
We'll guess after he does.
All right.
Let him
Let him
get his guess in.
Oh
Answer.
boy. Let's go with. I'm probably wrong, but let's go with like the Xbox 360
Ooh.
I'm gonna guess PS3.
or
I'm gonna-
Xbox One.
I'm gonna
sorry,
guess.
the original
Okay, I was
Xbox.
gonna say that's what I was gonna
Original
guess.
Xbox,
I'm
yeah.
80% sure
Xbox.
it's the original
You
Xbox.
guys are all wrong!
What?
The Sega Saturn shipped with
Oh.
1 megabyte of internal memory.
I had no idea Sega
Yeah.
Saturn had
That
We're,
memory.
we're
makes
still
sense.
looking for a Sega Saturn.
Yeah, we still need one.
We have a controller. We have the
power and the AV.
and the AV
And two
cable
games, and no
two
console.
games. No
That's
console.
crazy. I had no idea it had memory on
It
board.
makes sense because it didn't have memory cards for the
Yeah, it
Sega
doesn't have
Saturn.
slots
Yeah.
and stuff.
But
does
it does have CD-based games, so yeah, that makes sense.
That's not a lot though, even for them. It's probably 10 or 12 game stores or something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next question for me.
Alright. What classic video game was named because the creator misunderstood a translation?
Ooh.
Classic video game.
All right. Well, I'm doubting that it's Mario.
I think I know this one.
I'm doubting that it's Sonic. Is it just gonna be Pac-Man?
I think you're right.
That's my guess. I have no idea. I know the creator of it was a Japanese dude because I saw that weird movie with Adam Sandler.
Pac-Man, final answer. It is Donkey Kong.
What?
Donkey Kong named
I can
because
see
the
that.
creator thought that donkey meant stupid in English.
Well, he's not that far off.
Yeah, I mean it's used. That's funny. All of chat is raging that the 3DO came out before the Saturn and has memory. Hannah,
Ooh.
Command W that page. We never need to go back. It was awful. Do not recommend. All right, well, that's awesome. Well, guys, listen. I'm so glad you came and did this with us tonight. Anytime you want to do it in the future, let us know. I'm going to say to the audience one more time, if you guys haven't done so already, go subscribe to these guys' channel. There is a link both in the video's description as well as over at the top, pinned to the top of the chat box. You guys, one more time, because there's a lot of different people here than were before. Let these guys know why they should go subscribe to your channel.
If you like JRPG content, if you like yard sales, game pickups, we do a little bit on reselling, not a lot. Big box openings, special editions. She does a lot of stuff with gaming, and seeing someone awesome like this talk about RPGs is always a good thing. We're gonna do some spin-offs with JRPG wife stuff a little bit. What else?
Gamer couple.
Yeah, gamer couple stuff. There's popsicles.
Elisa, here's your prize.
Hooray!
Your bag full of
Eat them all at
popsicles.
once.
You have to double fist them. Well, guys, thanks for coming by, checking us out. Riff, good to see you, my man. Glad you're here. Michael, glad you're here. Spotlight, Kevin, James, if you're still here, I'm glad you stopped by. Also, Rose, if you're still here, there you are. Thanks for being here. You guys were awesome. Subscribe to these guys' channel. Subscribe to our other channel linked in the description as well, because we're going to start doing these live shows and some bi-weekly, I would say, pre-recorded podcast stuff. And we'll end up doing some other weird stuff on that channel with these guys also. So definitely subscribe to those. What was your sub count
About
most
650.
recently? 650, and you're
Yeah.
trying to get to that 1,000.
Hit that 1,000, nice round number.
So help these guys out, pretty please. You guys rock. Thanks for hanging out with us. Next Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll probably be on this channel, but randomly we're just going to switch over to that other channel. So if you like these live shows, make sure you subscribe. Guys, final thoughts, Hannah?
Popsicles are good, and thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Elisa?
Thanks for having us.
Don't forget to play your recent JRPG.
Yeah. Go play